My boyfriend of 8 years tells my best friend that he regrets proposing to me and that he should have proposed to her. Well, you know what? He went and then leaked very private pictures of me to my entire work colleagues, work friends, and my boss. But what he didn't realize is my new boyfriend, oh boy, he's a lawyer, and we're coming for him and you guys can witness it. To get right to the point, my boyfriend of 8 years just proposed to me a month ago. And about a week ago, I found out that he regretted the whole proposal and cheated on me with my supposed maid of honor. Guys, it's all just one of those absolute gigantic messes, and I'm not really sure what to do. To be honest, my fiancé was never enthusiastic about getting married anyways. I should have seen this coming, to be honest. I mean, the red flags, oh boy, they were there. I mean, come on. But when you're in love, it felt so easily and so harmless to look past them, and I met him when I was 24. I was a fresh graduate working in an intern position at his father's company. We would see each other in the hallway and conversations would just flow naturally. It felt like we had known each other absolutely forever. I later found out that he was 2 years younger than me, but you know what, I didn't really mind that. The longer I was with him, the more problems we had to deal with. I was getting somewhere with my career. I mean, I do work in fashion marketing and I'm doing pretty well right now. I started to want something more than just a relationship. I initiated a lot of conversations around marriages, kids, etc. General plans for the future, but it never felt like he was as enthusiastic as I was. Still, it seemed like we were on the same page on a lot of things, mostly because he always agreed with what I wanted without expressing any different opinions. Now that I think about it, I realize that it's because he didn't care. Not because he agreed, but I was too deeply in love to even see that. Anyways, I expected him to propose about 4 to 5 years into the relationship, but he was 2 years younger than me and used that as an excuse not to get married right away. There was always something that made him feel like he was not ready yet. I never understood why, because he didn't have to worry about money or career progression as much as I did. He came from a wealth, and I did not. I mean, he had jobs lined up for him at his father's company since he was in freshman years. He's probably going to inherit his family's wealth one day and run that company down the road, and I would have understood why he didn't want to start a family if he couldn't afford it, but he could. He just didn't want to, and again, I was too naive to understand that. So, when we were both into our 30s, he started running out of reasons, and still he had kept postponing it, making up excuses that sounded more and more ridiculous. Earlier this year, he said that he did not feel like this year would be a good time to get engaged because it's the anniversary of his parents' engagement, and they almost got divorced twice in the span of the last decade. It got to a point where I felt deeply disrespected and just ended up giving him an ultimatum. He finally gave in and proposed last month, and the proposal itself was actually something really disappointing. I'd always imagined a really romantic event with flowers or balloons or fairy lights all over the place. I would have loved for it to be a surprise, and I honestly gave him a lot of hints. Whenever I saw something like that on social media, I would show it to him, exclaiming how lovely and admirable those couples are, and when his best friend proposed to his girlfriend during a random movie date, he was inspired by the movie that they had just watched. He didn't even buy the ring, and I expressed my concerns that the girlfriend might be disappointed, and not that it's any of my business, obviously, but I just meant that there have been multiple occasions where I was vocal about what I want. So, instead of taking the time to prepare something special for me, he just took me ring shopping. I mean, there was no questions, no romantic events, no photos for future reminisce, nothing. And, of course, no friends and family members around to even witness. He just casually put the ring on my finger in the middle of the ring store and said, "So, I guess we're engaged now, huh? I hope you're happy." Then, guys, he went on and chuckled like it was some sort of stupid joke. I mean, I couldn't even process what had just happened, and I thought there would be something more like a surprise of some sort, because that, well, has got to be a prank. But after about a day, I realized that was it. He didn't want to make a big deal out of it, and what I wanted didn't matter enough for him to even compromise. Anyways, I know I should have seen this coming. I know he didn't love me as much as I wanted. I know I was naive. I know all of that. I guess part of me always knew that he was going to hurt me. I just didn't expect him to do that with my best friend. My absolute best friend who was supposed to be the Maid of Honor. Well, I still can't believe that they're still seeing each other. The way I found out about it is so ironic, to say the least. Well, get this. My Maid of Honor, let's call her Bianca. She sent me the screenshots of her chat with my fiancé herself. She said that she wanted to be honest with me because we're best of friends. He was ruthless in the text. He called me names, told her how much he regretted buying me that stupid ring, and said he wished it was Bianca that he was marrying. I could not even believe my eyes. It didn't make any sense to me. I mean, how could they do this all? When I told Bianca that I did not believe her, she sent me a photo of her and my fiancé in bed with each other. They were posting like lovebirds, happy to be in each other's arms, and Bianca said that she was in love with him and she was sorry, but she couldn't help it. He was everything she was looking for in a man, and she asked me to leave him so that they could be with each other, and I called my fiancé right away, and he admitted to the entire affair. He said that he did not want to be the one who told me because he could not deal with my tantrum. So he let Bianca do it for the both of them. I don't know. He was cold and condescending, as if I was not his partner for almost a decade. The news was shocking to me that I had thrown up for like an hour and a half, and then I had to call off work for 3 days to try to sort things out. So for now, I've canceled the wedding, and it's fortunate that I have not sent out the invitations, but we did put down the deposit for the venue, and the wedding planning company, and handmade decorations, and the artist who's going to make our wedding favors from scratch. I'm so mad at myself for letting this happen to me, guys. The worst thing is that my fiancé asked me to book everything myself, and he said he would pay me for this part of the wedding later because his money is better off in some sort of investment fund for now. I can't believe I was so naive to believe him. Now I'm probably going to lose my money to a wedding that I'm never ever going to have. So far, I've lost about $6,000 because some of the deposits were simply not refundable. 2 days ago, I called my ex again to ask him to pay that money to me because he was the one who cheated. We had a huge fight. It was 2 hours of screaming at each other on the phone, so I'm not going to get into the details, but the gist of it is it's just me lashing out at him because he cheated on me with my best friend. While he would blame it on me for having pressured him into this marriage, and then me screaming at him again for having the audacity to pin this on top of me? When I hung up, I felt worse than when I had not called. Well, I never want to speak to him again. I'm even thinking about letting the money go because I'm not even sure it's worth the time and mental toll it's going to take me to get in touch with him again. Every time someone mentions his name or something reminds me of him, I feel like throwing up. It's just been really, really horrible. I can't believe this is somebody I fell in love with. I can't even begin to tell you how stupid that I feel. Now, I have two options. I could keep on calling and harassing him until he pays me up the money, or I could just let it go. Cut contact with him and move on from my life. I mean, it's unfair, but I don't know if I can handle talking to him again. Bianca's been trying to get in touch with me too, but I'm not responding to her text or calls. I don't even know what to say. I feel like it would just, I don't know, make me scream at her, and it would just be harmful for everyone's well-being. Let me know what you would have done. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So today's update is a little wild, but we're going to check out a few commenters first. I have two that we're going to look at. If you guys are new to the channel, just understand the best way to support the channel and continuing to get videos every single day is super easy. Just press that subscribe button. Thank you. And here's your first comment. Comment number 1 says, I know a lot of you would not agree, but I think OP should take the high road. It sounds like the best friend is a little mentally unstable, no? She did all of those terrible things and has the audacity to play the victim here. I don't think a confrontation's going to help with anything.
Y'all keep saying that it could be what she needs for closure, but it doesn't sound like that to me. I mean, as someone who has been through a tough breakup myself, I say we never need closure to move on. When we're ready to move on, we just do it. I mean, come on. Not to mention, sometimes terrible people would never give us the closure that we think we deserve. Comment number 2. Okay, I do feel bad for OP, I'll go ahead and say that, but I feel like she's a bit naive, right? I mean, weren't there signs? Usually people are not very good at hiding their feelings if you're observant enough. Not to mention the fact that this is OP's best friend from college, and the long-term boyfriend we're talking about, they've been in her life forever. Doesn't she at least have an understanding of the type of people that they are? Come on. Update number 1. Please hit that subscribe button. Hey everyone. I want to thank you for all the comments, first of all. I do really appreciate everyone who left me words of encouragement. So long story short, I've decided to move to another city. Yeah, it's a big decision, and I still wonder if I chose the right thing, but what is done is done. And I still wonder if I chose the right thing, but tomorrow I'll be going out with my cousin's group of friends. I've only been here for 2 weeks, so I'm trying to put myself out there, I guess you could say. Well, I don't expect anything romantic yet. I'm just trying to build my social circle. Also, it's nice to have some sort of distraction from what's just happened with my ex and my best friend. I saw this comment about how naive I was, and to be honest, it hit home. I was indeed very naive, but I have to be transparent and admit that there's always been signs. I guess I just have to, I don't know, not be so afraid, too insecure, to admit to myself that my best friend had her eyes on my boyfriend. So, Bianca is my friend from college. She's always been very friendly and has great people skills. She introduced me to a really fun group of friends, but after graduation, we sort of went our separate ways. Bianca also got along with my fiancé from the first time I introduced them to each other. I was happy to see them hanging out with one another because they were the 2 most important people in the world to me. However, things started to get really weird. Sometimes she would have problematic behavior, like calling my ex when she got drunk instead of me, and later explaining it was just an honest mistake. She said that she was going to dial my number, but she was too drunk to pick the right contact. She even opened up her phone to show me why she made that mistake. She saved my boyfriend's number as my OP's boyfriend. That's why it's right below my contact, and it's really easy to make a mistake. I honestly thought she was telling the truth, but still, I was pretty uncomfortable with the fact that my ex left in the middle of the night to pick her up and let her crash on his couch. We weren't living together at that point. I was staying inside of my college dorm, and my ex had his own apartment close to his university. So his excuse for not calling me was that he didn't want to wake me up, and I had no space to offer Bianca anyways. I wasn't comfortable with letting them meet each other for about a few weeks before my ex successfully convinced me that there was nothing unusual going on. So, after my graduation, I moved in with my ex. He was still in university, and I started on the job hunt. A few months later, Bianca asked to move in with us temporarily because she was having trouble looking for work. Well, we did have a spare bedroom, so we happily offered it to her. I was planning to rent it out, but that could wait. The problem is that Bianca ended up staying there for a whole year. Even when she managed to find a decent job, there was always an excuse. She said that she was saving up to pay off her parents' debt, but I later heard from her parents themselves that there was no such debt. Well, when I confronted her, she said that they did not know that she was still paying it off, and she lied to them because she didn't want them to be worried. To this day, I still don't know if she's telling the truth or not, but that was not even the worst of it. During her stay, she would sometimes walk around in her underwear. After a while, she quit her job and started working for my fiancé's dad, whose business will still belong to him anyways. I should have noticed earlier that she had eyes on him. Anyways, I've had a lot of distance from them to think things through. I feel like an idiot, but I think it's more important for me just to move on. I worked out a deal with my agency and got a job in a similar position at their partner agency. I decided to stop pursuing the whole deposit drama, so I lost a lot on that wedding, but my mental health has to come first now. I cut contact with the both of them, and at least I'm still grateful to start over. Nothing much happened except for the fact that Bianca still tries to contact me in every possible way that you can imagine. She even got my mom to call me, and I'm not even that close to my mom. The gist of it is that Bianca wants to apologize. She said that she was simply in love with him, but she never made a move because she didn't want to hurt me. But it all started when she was drunk. Thinking my fiancé was someone else, it was during a company party that I was not invited to. He took her home, tucked her in, and things happened from there. The next morning when she found out what happened, she was so shocked and she could not react. She said that my ex threatened her, saying that if she ever told me, he would take away her job. She swore she was telling the truth, but I did not think I could trust her. I never responded to her. I'm still trying to focus on my life right now. Of course, I still think about everything that's happened. Part of me is even concerned for Bianca because my ex could have cut her off. I'm still mad at her, and there's no way in hell that we'll be friends again, but I do feel like he took advantage of her. Not to mention Bianca's parents, who rely on her financially, so if my ex cut her off, she would be in big trouble. But I guess it's none of my business anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm just in denial and running away from my problems, but here we are. I'll update you again. Updates number 2. Okay, it seems like it's impossible to put this behind me. It's been 4 months and a lot has happened. I do need your advice because I feel like I've gotten myself into a big mess. So, a few weeks ago, Bianca called me in tears and she said she's tested positive for HIV, and my ex must be the one who gave her the disease. She said that I should go check myself out, and she also asked for money for her treatment because just as he told her, my ex has taken away her job. She sounded really distraught, and I decided to send her $2,000 for old time's sake. Now, I know that's not the smartest decision, but I honestly just felt so bad for her. I made it clear that we're not friends in any way, and I'm just helping her out because my ex did take advantage of her. But it was her choice to continue seeing him and letting him use her time and time again. So, she needs to get her life together. And now, guys, here's the actual twist that really just overwhelmed me. When I went to the hospital to have a quick checkup, I found out that I was pregnant. But it's not what you think it is. See, it was not with my ex. In the past few months, I've actually met somebody, and we started dating almost immediately, and he was one of my cousin's friends. I'd heard a lot about him, a lot of good things, of course. So we hit it off instantly, and I have a very good feeling about him. Still, a pregnancy is a bit too soon for us. Also, I tested negative for HIV. Fortunately, things are going really well with my new relationship. When I told my new boyfriend that I was pregnant, he was actually really excited. He proposed to me next week, saying that he had always wanted to be a father and a husband. The proposal was everything that I had hoped for. It's like he's been paying attention to everything that I liked and stuffed them all in on one evening for me. Well, he took me to a fancy rooftop restaurant and booked a whole floor for the two of us. The place was covered with fresh flowers, and there was even a live band and a photographer hiding behind one of the bars to make sure our special moment was captured. Everything was just so darn perfect, it brought me to tears. It all happened so fast, but I felt like I could trust him. So I know that it's really hard to believe, but I'm engaged now. Still, I haven't been able to move on completely because people from my past keep coming back, and it's really been stressful. Bianca's not the only one. Apparently, my ex saw my social media post about the engagement. It's not a secret anymore. Everyone in my hometown knows about it, and generally people are taken back that I moved on so fast. But those who really know me are very happy that I did. They know how long it took my ex to actually be ready for marriage, and they know how horrible that he treated me. It's the people who don't know the whole story that are talking behind my back. But I don't care about them anyways. I'm only worried that they might make the situation worse for my ex, who has a really bad temper. He's already fired Bianca, so I don't know what he's going to do to me. Now, the problem is that I know my ex doesn't take the news very well. In the past few days, he has texted me, berated me, and threatened to release my sensitive photos. He said that I did not deserve to be a bride because I was used goods. Well, I was angry, but scared at the same time, and I'm not sure what to really do about it now. I think I might have to tell my fiancé, but honestly, I'm worried he might not react as calmly as I hoped. I know it's still the right thing to do, though. I mean, things have stressed me out a lot, and I'm thinking about seeing a therapist. I don't think all this stress is good for the baby. I mean, what would you do in my situation? Update number 3. Hey guys, it's been about 4 months since I've posted, and I realized that I did not manage to write out all the important information. I guess I was too stressed. So what I forgot to tell you is that my new fiancé is a lawyer. I actually knew him because I was seeking legal advice for the money that I lost from the wedding drama. My cousin hooked me up with him, and he's the one who advised me to let it go because there's not enough evidence against my ex. That's why I'm afraid to tell him this time. I don't want him to tell me to let it go. I guess I'm afraid we're going to fight, and I can't handle a lot of stress right now, but I did the right thing anyways. I sat him down the other day and showed him the messages from my ex, and after the threatening call, he proceeded to send me sensitive photos taken when we were still going out, saying he was going to track my ex down and make him stare at these photos for hours. Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. So when I told my fiancé about what was happening, he instantly knew what to do. Fortunately, he's very supportive of me, and we even managed to talk about how stressed I'd been. And I practically cried the whole night, but I felt much better afterward. He made me feel really safe, and he hugged me and told me he was going to help me handle everything, so I trusted that he will. So I went to therapy, and I realized that I've been having these patterns of behavior, like running away from my problems before I try to fix them. I'm also under a lot of stress, and I don't want that to affect the baby in any way. I asked for an early maternity leave, so I'll only have to work for another month. I don't know how this is going to affect my career, but I'm willing to risk it for my health. Plus, my fiancé has been helping me out and paying for all my sessions and stuff, and I'm just really grateful for it. Well, anyways, about my ex, oh boy, is it a long story. But we sued him for $50,000. It's not a lot, but we have proof that he's blackmailing me and he might be stalking me and my fiancé. I don't know if we're going to win, but I have a lot of faith in my fiancé. I mean, he's a great lawyer. And he arranged a panel of 2 specialists. It was his friends from grad school to help me out. It's been a lot better than before, and guys, I will let you know how the results go. Updates number 4. Sorry for not having written a post earlier. It's been 3 months, but a lot has happened already. Long story kinda short, we won. But what happened after that made me feel like the win meant nothing. I'm still dealing with a lot of drama right now, so after we won the lawsuit, I had a call from, you guessed it, my best friend. Bianca contacted us again and asked me if I could lend her some money. She said that she was in critical condition and it was all because of my ex. To be fair, he was the one who gave her HIV, so I felt bad for it. Plus, I just won a bunch of money from my ex, so I sent her another $5,000. So that's $7,000 that she owes me, but to be honest, I did not mind. I just felt like she needed it more than I did, plus I'm very happy with my new life now. So I guess I felt bad that she was still struggling with whatever my ex caused. Here's where the drama started to escalate really quickly. My ex called me the next day and harassed me for sending money to Bianca. He said that I could sue him again if I wanted, but because his family is so rich, he can always afford a settlement. And he'll never stop harassing me, so $50,000 was apparently not a lot to him. Or so he said, which is ridiculous considering how he didn't even want to pay for his part of our wedding, and just a few weeks ago I called into HR. They said that they're letting me go. At first I thought it's because of the extended maternity leave. I mean, I was trying to convince them to keep me until I found out it was because of something else. Oh, something much, much, much worse. Much more scandalous. It turns out that my photos have been leaked to all the employees at the agency. Those at the other branches too, and they said that they had to fire me because they could not have somebody who caused that much chaos. Especially during such a busy period. I mean, guys, it sounded like BS to me. I was so angry because I contributed so much to their growth and they were going to just let me go over something that was not even in my control? Wow. I slammed their table, which was definitely not my proudest moment, and a flower vase actually fell to the ground and they called in security to escort me out. They said I was unfit for the job anyways because I was mentally unstable. To make matters worse, my ex sent me a photo of him and Bianca. Turns out they got, well, back together. Bianca repeatedly apologized to me again, saying how much she was in love with my ex and that she could not leave him. She said that she needed him to support her financially because she had already spent all of the money I sent her. That was terrible for my mental health, and together with the pregnancy, I was struggling and felt like my ex was in competition with me, showing me how much of my life he's still in control of, especially Bianca. I'm almost certain that getting back with her is just a power move to show me who's the boss. The guy's crazy. I can't believe I was in love with him at some point. Final update. Hey everyone, so it's been a few months and I'm finally ready to write another update. I think this is going to be it. So, about the photos, my fiancé helped me prepare for another lawsuit, this time against my old agency and my ex. We found out that my ex's company had promised a lot of benefits for my agency if they let the whole thing with a photo happen and used it to fire me. A hefty marketing contract, or at least that's what we found out. But that's not enough to get him in court, per se. But here's where it gets really, really brutal. My ex asked Bianca to testify against me. His argument was that I was mentally unstable and I imagined everything. He even used the fact that I went to therapy and my, quote, violent outburst at the agency to blame this all on me. His family's wealthy, so he got a very good lawyer, and to be honest, at one point I thought I was losing. But that's when my fiancé managed to dig up a very useful piece of information for me that I used on Bianca. We all know that she's a sucker for money at this point. I confronted Bianca in private, promising her that I would give her $100,000 if she agreed to tell the truth on the stand. This is a big lawsuit, so it made sense that we would win a lot of money from my ex's company. Well, she eventually complied. I guess money is her weakness, and not her love for my ex like she told everyone. Anyways, she even told the judge how my ex was abusing her and forcing her to lie. In the end, my ex and the company was ordered to pay me $200,000. My ex also has a restraining order. When Bianca asked for her $100,000, I told her I lied. I also reported her case to social workers because she had a gambling addiction. That's what my fiancé found out when he was trying to look into her irregular financial activities. She didn't have any disease. She was just that desperate for money because she was an addicted gambler. And apparently my ex knew this secret, which was why he was able to completely exploit her. But it's all over for them now. So, about me and my fiancé, we've been really well. I gave birth to a healthy baby girl, and we named her Angel. Our wedding is set to happen next fall, and I guess things really took a turn for the better when I left that city after all.